Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something that I had to learn the hard way. Everybody that claps for you ain't clapping for you. Everybody in your circle ain't in your corner. Let me break something down for y'all that's been weighing on my spirit. You ever had somebody in your life who don't call, don't check in, don't show no kind of love until they need something? I mean, the phone stay dry, the inbox is quiet, nobody tagging you or nothing. No, hey, how you doing? Until they need a ride, need some money, need you to co-sign, need your time, need your ear. And then boom, they come out the shadows like they never left. That ain't love. That ain't friendship. That's convenience. And if you ain't careful, you're going to mistake that convenience for care. But baby, they don't care about you. They care about what you could do for them. See, people like that are professional actors. Oh, they'll show up with a smile, maybe even bring a fake story, talking about you were the only one I could call. Now that part might be true, not because you special to them, but because everyone else finally stopped letting them use them. Now you the last one standing with an open door and a soft heart. But don't get it twisted. They ain't coming to be part of your life. They coming to collect. You are the ATM machine of emotional labor, money, support, advice, connection. And they know your code. They'll even hit you with guilt. You know I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. They always desperate. They always in a crisis. You ever notice how their life is always falling apart, always in some mess, and you always the one expected to drop everything and rescue them? But when you hit a storm, when you need somebody, when your heart is heavy, where they at? Nowhere. Suddenly, they ghost. Suddenly they don't answer the phone. But let them go through something. They expect you to move mountains like you Moses. Like you're supposed to part the sea for them every time. Let me tell you something about folks who only come around when they need something. They're not loving you. They're using you. And the worst part, some of y'all been calling that loyalty. You've been telling yourself, well, they going through it. No, you going through it. You going through being drained, being manipulated, being taken for granted, and you keep letting it happen because your heart too big, because you want to believe the best in people. But let me say this to you. It is not your job to be everybody's lifeboat when they keep choosing to jump in the water. It is not your responsibility to carry grown folks who refuse to walk on their own feet. Some of these people treat you like a vending machine. They drop in their little charm, push the button, and expect a blessing to fall out. But let me tell you, you are not a vending machine. You are a human being with needs, with feelings, with your own battles. And the moment you stop producing for them, they'll walk right past you like you was never even there. That's how you know they never valued you, only what you could give. And here's the real danger. When you allow people like that to keep coming in and out your life, you teach them how to treat you. You teach them that it's okay to ignore you until it benefits them, that it's okay to disappear until they desperate. And you reinforce that behavior every time you answer that phone, every time you give that one last favor, every time you drop everything for them, knowing good and well they wouldn't do the same for you. That ain't strength. That's self-sacrifice. That's you bleeding for people who wouldn't give you a Band-Aid. So you got to start asking the hard questions. Who shows up when you ain't got nothing to give? Who's there when the lights are off and the bank is low? Who calls just to say, I was thinking about you? Those are the people who care. The rest, they just passing through, collecting pieces of you and leaving behind exhaustion and silence. And I'm telling you right now, if the only time someone remembers you is when they need something, then baby, they don't remember you, they remember your use. Let me ask y'all something and be honest with yourself. When's the last time somebody really, truly asked how you were doing and meant it? I'm not talking about that fake how you doing folks throw at you when they already halfway out the room. I'm talking about the kind where they stop, sit down, look you in the eye and say, no, really, how are you? The kind that don't rush you to answer. The kind that don't change the subject when it gets uncomfortable. The kind that ain't just asking because it's polite. They ask them because they care. That kind of check-in is rare. And the truth is, if you look around at the people in your life and realize no one's doing that for you, it's because they don't really care about you like that. See, people love to be around your energy. They love your light, your jokes, your good advice. They love when you're the strong one, the fixer, the go-to person who's always got a word or a way. But they don't stop to wonder what it's costing you to carry all that. They never ask if your smile is real. They never ask if your silence is loud. They never ask if you cry when the door is closed. They just assume you're okay because you make sure they are. You ever been in a room full of people and still felt invisible? Like everybody's laughing, talking, living their lives, and you standing there, quietly falling apart on the inside, but nobody notices, nobody asks. And when they do, it's just surface talk. You good, and before you even answer, they on to the next thing. Because the truth is, they're not really checking on you. They're just checking a box. That ain't love. That ain't friendship. That's performance. That's someone doing just enough to make themselves feel good, but not enough to actually see you. I know folks who will sit on the phone with you for an hour and talk nonstop about themselves. Every problem, every win, every complaint, it's all about them. Then when they finally catch a breath, they go, anyway, I gotta run, talk soon. And you sitting there, never got a word in, never got a chance to speak your own struggle, your own heart. Because in their world, your role is to listen, to support, to clap for them, not to be heard, not to be held. Let me tell you something. If someone can be in your life for years and never stop to dig deeper, never ask what your dreams are, what keeps you up at night, what makes you feel alive or makes you feel lost, then baby, they don't see you. They see the version of you that serves them, but they don't know the real one. And if someone don't care to know the real you, then what kind of relationship is that really? What are you holding on to? We live in a world where people are praised for being strong, but nobody talks about how lonely that strength can be. Because strong people, the real strong ones, they're often the most ignored. Folks think they don't need checking on, but strength don't mean you're okay. Sometimes strength just means you're good at hiding the pain. And when the people around you can't be bothered to look past your mask, to sit with your sadness, to ask those deeper questions, you start to feel like you don't matter, like your feelings are an inconvenience. And that right there is a heavy kind of hurt. You deserve people who ask how you are and wait for the real answer. People who want to know your heart, not just your headlines. People who sit with your silence and not get uncomfortable. People who say, you ain't got to have it all together. I just want to be here for you. Because at the end of the day, it ain't about how many people are around you. It's about how many truly see you, even when you're quiet, even when you're low, even when you ain't shining. That's the kind of care that don't come often. And when it doesn't show up, you better believe that person don't really care about you. You ever notice how some folks go real quiet when you start doing better? I mean, they was loud and proud when you were struggling. They had all the advice, all the opinions, I'm just looking out for you energy. But the moment you start climbing, start shining, start winning a little, suddenly they get real low, real silent, or real slick with the little jabs. That's how you know they wasn't really for you. They were just comfortable when you were beneath them. See, people who don't care about you, they downplay your achievements like it ain't nothing. And that right there, that ain't just shade. That's their ego showing you who they are. You go back to school, get that degree, and here they come. Oh, that's nice. But everybody getting degrees now. You land that job you've been praying on for months, and they like, yeah, but how long you think you're gonna stay there? You finally save up, buy your first car, your first home, and instead of saying, I'm proud of you, they hit you with, well, let's see if you can keep up with the payment. Ain't nobody asked for all that. All you wanted was a little love, a little support, just a congratulations. But no, they gotta shrink your success so it don't make their own life look small. Let me tell you something about people like that. When they downplay your blessings, it's not about you. It's about what your blessing reminds them of. Your growth highlights their stagnation. Your wins shine a light on what they ain't doing. And instead of clapping, instead of learning, instead of leveling up, they'd rather downplay you so they can feel taller standing next to you. That ain't support. That's insecurity dressed up in a smile. I done had people in my life that would only call when I was going through something. When I was winning, they were nowhere to be found. You know why? Because your elevation messes with their comfort. They were fine with you as long as you needed them. But the moment you start standing on your own 2 feet, suddenly you too proud, too busy, too different. And that ain't on you. That's their inability to love you when you don't need saving. People who love you, truly love you, they celebrate you. Even if they ain't where you are, they clap anyway. They don't feel threatened by your rise. They don't try to minimize your moment. They don't roll their eyes when you're excited about what you earn. They sit front row and cheer like your win is their win. But the folks who don't care about you, oh, they'll act like what you did was easy, like anybody could have done it, like it don't matter. Why? Because if they can convince you it ain't that deep, then maybe they don't have to face their own lack of effort. And it ain't always what they say. Sometimes it's the silence. You post your accomplishment and everybody else is hitting like, dropping love, sending messages, and they sitting there scrolling, watching, saying nothing. Not because they missed it. They saw it. They just couldn't bring themselves to say good job. That silence, that's loud. That tells you everything you need to know. Because when somebody cares about you, they show up not just in your pain, but in your progress. The people who downplay your achievements are the same ones who expect you to be clapping when they get a blessing. They want you to shout for them from the rooftops, but won't even whisper your name when you finally get a break. That's not mutual. That's not love. That's one-sided support, and baby, that's heavy to carry. You worked hard. You sacrificed. You lost sleep, prayed, fought through doubt, and you finally made it to a win. Don't let nobody minimize that. Not the slick comments, not the sarcasm, not the fake congratulations with no real joy behind it. If someone can't be happy for you, that's because they were never really with you. They were just close enough to keep you small, and now they can't handle your shine. Let me tell y'all something, real. Life will show you who's who. See, it's easy to have people around when the drinks are flowing, the music is bumping, and everything is sweet. But when the party ends, when the bills stack up, when the tears come down, when your back's against the wall, that's when you learn the difference between who's for you and who's just around you. Because let me tell you, folks who don't care about you, they disappear during your tough times. They vanish like smoke when the fire gets too hot. And that's the kind of silence that hits different. You ever been at your lowest and looked around and nobody was there? I ain't talking about strangers. I'm talking about people you laugh with, gave rides to, sent money to, encouraged when they were down, picked up the phone at 2 a.m. for them. Them people, you go through something real, something heavy, and suddenly they get real busy, ain't no texts, ain't no calls, they ghost you like you did something wrong. But really, they just don't want to be bothered with your struggle. Your pain makes them uncomfortable, and your hardship ain't convenient for their schedule. And you know what's crazy? When you do hear from them, it's months later, and they got the nerve to say, dang, I meant to check on you. I've just been so busy. Busy, we all busy, but we make time for what we value. We check on the people we care about. Let's be real. They didn't forget. They just didn't feel like showing up when it wasn't fun, when you weren't laughing, when you weren't giving, when you needed something from them instead of doing something for them. You ever been through heartbreak, lost a job, buried a loved one, or just woke up and felt like the world was too heavy, and you looked at your phone thinking anybody would check in, and it was quiet? That silence right there, that's how you know. Because when people care about you, they don't let you sit in the dark alone. They call, they show up. They say, I don't have the answers, but I'm here. That presence, that's love. But when folks disappear on you the minute life ain't pretty, that's abandonment. That's neglect. And it cuts deeper than anything a stranger could ever do. And look, I'm not saying people got to fix your problems. That ain't what this is about. Sometimes all you need is someone to say, you don't have to go through this by yourself. Just a text, just a voice, just a prayer. But the ones who don't care, they don't even offer that. They'll watch your life fall apart from the sidelines and never say a word. Some of them even enjoy it quietly because your fall makes them feel better about where they stand. And let's talk about those fake ones who show up just long enough to say, let me know if you need anything, and then disappear again. You know good and well they don't mean that. It's just something people say to sound nice. But when you call, they send you the voicemail. When you text, they leave you on read. When you ask for a small favor, suddenly they got 1,000 reasons why they can't help. And yet, when they were going through it, you were there, praying, encouraging, loaning money, dropping everything to be present. But the moment you needed them, they vanished like they never even knew you. That right there tells you who's real and who's not. Struggles will expose the relationships in your life. Pain has a way of peeling the mask off people. And the ones who walk away when you're broken, they were never meant to walk with you when you're whole. Stop chasing people who couldn't even stick around when you were hurting. If they disappear in the valley, they don't deserve to be on the mountain with you. Let me talk to you for a minute about something a lot of folks don't like to admit: jealousy. Now, I ain't talking about that playful girl, I'm jealous of that vacation type of energy. I'm talking about that real, bitter, quiet kind of jealousy, the kind that shows up in people you love, people you trusted, People you never thought would envy you, you start smiling a little more, walking with your head up, glowing different, and out of nowhere, their whole energy shifts. They stop clapping for you. They stop rooting for you. And that's when you realize they ain't really happy to see you happy. They jealous. And baby, when someone's jealous of your joy, they don't care about your peace. See, some folks are only cool with you as long as you struggle. As long as you're sad, they got something to offer. As long as you're crying, they got a shoulder for you. But the minute you start healing, the minute you start laughing again, getting your rhythm back, talking about your dreams with excitement, that same shoulder gets cold. That phone don't ring the same. That I'm so proud of you turns into must be nice. They start throwing little slick comments like you change or don't forget where you came from. Ain't that something? You finally doing better and somehow you're the problem. Let me tell you something. Your happiness is a mirror. And when somebody got something ugly in their heart, your joy reflects it back to them. Your success reminds them of the effort they didn't put in. Your light bothers their darkness. But instead of looking inward, instead of saying, maybe I need to get myself together, they turn on you. They'll start downplaying what you've earned. They'll act like your blessings fell out the sky, like you didn't hustle, cry, pray, grind, and go through hell to get where you are. They don't see the price you paid. They only see the shine. And that shine, oh, it burns them up. What's wild is they'll pretend they're happy for you. They'll say all the right things, but their spirit tells the truth. You can feel it. You ever tell somebody some good news and suddenly the room just goes flat? Like you just told them a tragedy? No excitement, no genuine joy. Just, oh, okay, cool. That's how you know. That little pause, that tight smile, that fake laugh. Baby, jealousy don't always yell. Sometimes it whispers. You might even catch them copying you. They don't congratulate you, but they start doing the same thing, hoping they can outdo you, or they try to compete with you in a race you didn't even know you was running. All because they can't stand the fact that you're happy. Not rich, not famous, just happy. That's what eats them up because they don't understand how you're still smiling with all you've been through. They don't get how you found joy when they thought you were supposed to stay broken. But hear me when I tell you, that jealousy ain't got nothing to do with you. That's their spirit. That's their own inner lack. You just became the target because you were the closest thing shining next to their darkness. Don't dim your light for nobody. Don't shrink to make bitter people comfortable. If they can't handle your happy, let them go be miserable somewhere else. You deserve to laugh without guilt. You deserve to win without explaining. You deserve to feel good about your life without somebody trying to make you question if you earned it. Because at the end of the day, somebody who truly cares about you, they want to see you win. They celebrate with you like your blessing was theirs too. But the ones who get jealous, they don't care about your joy. They care about your position. They don't miss the old you. They miss when you were lower than them. That's the truth nobody likes to say, but it's real. And once you see it, you can't You ever notice how some folks got perfect timing, but only when it benefits them? They know exactly when to show up when they need something, not when you're struggling, not when you're hurting, not when you need someone to talk to at 2 a.m. No, they pop up like clockwork when their world's falling apart and they need you to help carry it. That's when the phone rings. That's when they remember you. That's when they suddenly got all this love for you. But the moment they get what they came for, gone. Ghost. Like they never knew you. That's how you know they don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. I've had people disappear on me for months. No call, no text, no how you doing, no nothing. And then out of nowhere, hey, big head, or hey, stranger, or my favorite one, you still got that truck. You already know what's coming. They need a ride, they need a favor, they need some money, and they're gonna butter you up first, just enough to get in the door, but baby, don't mistake convenience for connection. Some folks are not in your life because they love you. They're in your life because you're useful. And I know you got a big heart. You want to help. You've been that dependable person for so long that it almost feels wrong to say no. But let me tell you something. A one-sided relationship is just quiet manipulation. You give and they take. You pour and they drink. But who's refilling you? When's the last time they checked on your needs, your struggles, your peace? See, people who only show up when they need something, they're not friends, they're opportunists. And the moment you stop being useful, you'll see how quickly they forget your number. You ever test it out? Try going through something and not saying a word just to see who notices, see who calls just to check in with no hidden agenda. That list gets real short real quick. Because when you stop giving, when you stop being available 24/7, when you finally say no or I can't today, people's true colors come out. They get mad, act funny, start talking about how you've changed. No, you didn't change. You just stopped letting yourself be used. And let's be real. Sometimes they don't even pretend anymore. They'll ask straight up, no warm up, no small talk. Hey, can you do this for me? Like you an ATM, a therapist, a babysitter, a moving service, just on standby. But the minute you ask for a small favor, suddenly they got a million excuses. They busy, they broke, they going through it. Ain't it funny how they always going through something when it's your turn to need them? That kind of behavior wears on your soul because it makes you feel like your worth is tied to what you provide. Like if you don't have something to offer, you don't matter. But let me remind you, you are more than what you give. You deserve relationships that are built on love, not transactions. People who call just to say, I'm thinking of you. People who show up when it's inconvenient. People who don't wait until they're in a bind to remember your name. So pay attention. Watch who disappears when you're quiet and who reappears when you're useful. Because love don't operate on conditions. Real care ain't based on access to your time, your wallet, or your resources. If someone can't be present in your absence, they don't deserve your presence. And the people who only come around when they need something, they're not checking on you. They're checking on their next favor. That's not love. That's a transaction disguised as loyalty.